Nobody wants to say it. Ask Steven Spielberg what happened to Heather O'Rourke. Top lawyer confirms poltergeist child actor killed by Hollywood paedophile ring. And there, as if you needed any more evidence to that, there he is with the Clintons that we all know are satanic paedophiles. Also, Henry Winkler is involved. Spielberg and Winkler were both raping her when they burst her intestines. It's not even very disguised, is it? Old Nick, the devil. Unalienable rights. Your unalienable rights were not given to you by any man-made authority, nor can they be taken away by any man-made authority. The state, as a creation of the people, can only acknowledge, uphold and protect your unalienable rights. However, your sovereign nation has been usurped by Urination Inc., which is bankrupt and using a debt money system. The real property, wealth, asset and productivity of the people has been pledged as surety for the corporate debt. This was done and is perpetrated by offering contracts to the private sovereign people. By contracts, your private rights and properties can be exchanged for public privileges and benefits offered by Urination Inc. By contracting into a foreign jurisdiction, Admiralty Maritime, the law of the sea, the sovereign people remove themselves from the protections afforded by the sovereign nation in the common law jurisdiction, the law of the land. Just to prove men are better at everything, we won Woman of the Year. Men are amazing. We're winning in women's weightlifting, women's swimming, women's running. Men rule, basically. New World Order cult that rules the world administers a satanic paedophile network, including top-level politicians like Australian Prime Minister and US presidents. The satanic paedophile network, which underlies the New World Order, was again exposed in the last few months by another brave whistleblower. Australian woman Fiona Barnett showed a ton of courage in going public at the Sydney press conference in October 2015 and naming names. Fiona, a former victim of satanic ritual abuse and a part of the international VIP paedophile ring, not only exposed the existence of the satanic paedophile network and its international child trafficking ring, but actually named 3 former Australian Prime Ministers and 1 former US President as perpetrators. She reveals that this network, composed of famous actors, celebrities, judges, politicians and other high flyers, has infiltrated all the key organisations and institutions in Australia, just as it has in the US and Britain. It's all coming crashing down for them, but we've got to rake up this fire so they all get burnt for good. Council to sell original Magna Carta for £20 million to fund office refurb. Not to help the homeless or feed the hungry, but for an office refurb. Locals are fuming over their town council's plans to sell a medieval copy of the Magna Carta. The Charter of Rights is just one of several in existence and was presented to the Kent town of Feversham in the 1300s. After caring for the document for more than 700 years, Feversham Town Council have revealed plans to sell the manuscript, which was signed and sealed by King Edward I. Because we need to get our office up to scratch, don't you know? Of course, put it in private hands, you'll never see it again, and all unless you've memorised it or got pictures of it, gone for good. The precious document is worth an estimated 20 million and could be sold as a fund refurbishing the council offices on an expedition space, town leaders say. The announcement has been branded outrageous by locals who are keen to preserve the town's history. Former journalist Mark Gardner said it was an act of incredible irresponsibility to sell the town's birthright. The 80-year-old said it was something that should be and is prized by all of Feversham residents. And the council said, well, we don't give a shit. We need to do our office up. And after all, we are here for us, aren't we? BBC at risk of losing generations of viewer. Ofcom warns the number of young people using BBC services is falling. That's because they can all see through this bullshit that the BBC is just, after all, at the end of the day, it's just a corrupt paedophile organisation. And we all know that. Well, any that's done any research into it anyhow. The BBC is at risk of losing a generation of viewers if it cannot engage a younger audience, and it may not be sustainable in its current form, Ofcom has warned. Well, we need to get rid of it once and for all, don't we? That's what we need, really. Time spent with BBC services by younger audiences across TV, radio and the BBC's main online sites declined further in 2018-19. The Watchdog's second annual report on the broadcaster found jeopardising revenue is young people are not motivated to pay the licence fee. No one should pay that fee, and not many do these days, or less and less do at any rate. The report said, like all PSBs, public service broadcasters, the BBC is vulnerable to the rapid and changing media landscape, particularly in its struggle to attract and retain younger audiences. In addition, our review of the BBC's news and current affairs outpost also suggests that the BBC is struggling to engage younger audiences with news and current affairs, particularly online. In other words, the propaganda's not working, and they're being told your propaganda's not working, you better do something about it. There are no courts, there are no cops, they don't have lawful right to issue a warrant. What they have is a writ of attachment that looks like a warrant. Rule 44, only a judge in a court of record can write a warrant. In order to be a court of record, they must be a political subdivision. Get their tax determination letter through a A4506A. You'll see they are not... Trust me, I've done it. In order to be a sheriff, you must be a peace officer. To be a peace officer, you must work for a political subdivision. You see where this is going, don't you? IRS Political Subdivision Paragraph 5. To be an instrument of government. All judges, magistrates, Supreme Court are doing business as. All of these code of federal regulation in public laws are copywritten. Anything having to be with Reuters or Westlaw means that you're in a British bank under banking laws, because Reuters is a British media conglomerate. Rule 26, disclosure. Flags, Gideons, streamers, tabards and army heraldry, army.mil. The prosecutor doesn't have the power of attorney to represent the state. Prosecutor has no authority to make presentment, no authority to enforce any instrument. If full payment is made, are they prepared to surrender the instrument? No, they're not. Return it for lack of necessary endorsement. Resigns as the receiver of process, appoint Secretary of State. Now it's called improper service. Dismissed. Do they have a tax-exempt status on record? Do they have a power of attorney for the state on record, whereby the state agrees to have that prosecutor represent them? They have a contract with the state. Dismissal for failure to prosecute. What's the yellow fringe flag in a courtroom for? Well, I know that. Do you have any reason to believe or have any proof that I'm in the military? Are you in the military court? Is that on the record? What kind of military is it? Any questions? And for those that don't know the answer, the gold fringe round the United States flag means they're at war. It's a military, basically dictatorship, and everything points that direction. Ebola-like virus hits Britain as 3 patients treated for symptoms. Now, this is November, 24th of November this year. And the reason I'm highlighting this is Ebola-like virus. If you remember yesterday's video I put out, it was flu-like symptoms. And this seems to be becoming quite common now. It's something like symptoms. You watch my words. You watch it as we move on. Over the next few weeks or so, they came into close contact with 2 people diagnosed with Lassa fever, where victims can end up bleeding from the mouth and nose. 3 Brits are being treated for an Ebola-like virus being rushed back from Africa. They came into contact with 2 people diagnosed with Lassa fever in Sierra Leone, one of whom later died. The trio have now been brought back home to be medically assessed and treated if required. Public Health England has also contacted 15 other British nationals who have contacted with 2 Dutch nationals with Lassa fever. There's something behind this flu-like symptoms, Ebola-like symptoms. They're doing this for a reason. They're indoctrinating you to be ready for when they come out with whatever-like symptoms, so you should all be living in fear now and be easier to control. Brutal response. Autistic boy, 13, died after 3 school workers pinned him to the ground for 2 hours as he vomited and wet himself. An autistic schoolboy died after 3 members of staff pinned him down for 2 hours as he vomited and wet himself. Tragic Max Benson, 13, died in November 2018 after he was restrained face down on the floor at private Gildings Hands School in El Dorado Hills, California, which has since closed down. Well, I hope they got done with the manslaughter at the very least, but of course, very unlikely, isn't it? The Telegraph. Corbyn refuses to apologise to Jews. Why should he? They've done nothing about anti-Semitism, say voters turning their back on Labour. No, it's let's destroy Labour type thing. We need to get rid of the voting system because it doesn't work. It's been infiltrated and they're using it against us. Prince returned to deal with Duke fallout. Ketamine could help heavy drinkers quit. Yeah, by knocking them out. No decent person would put a cross next to Labour. No decent man or woman would put a cross anywhere because that means you're an idiot. That's why they say put a cross, because you're incapable of writing. Ex-Prisman boss questioned over honours. Maltese PM rocked by murder scandal. Express. I nearly had a heart attack, says 105 million lottery winner. Join our campaign to end loneliness this Christmas. Labour leader refuses 4 times to apologise for failure to tackle anti-Semitism. There is no anti-Semitism. It's made up bullshit anyway. Has Corbyn Horror Show gifted Boris keys to number 10? Well, whoever gets in, and it doesn't matter who, that's who was supposed to get in, because those that really are in charge of the planet has said is going to get in, because they're going to destroy us the best they can. Labour, Lib Dem, Conservative, it doesn't matter. They're all puppets. The Times. Daily coffee can cut risk of high blood pressure and diabetes. Corbyn refuses to apologise. Chief Rabbi is wrong about Labour anti-Semitism, insists leader of, as he describes 4 times to say sorry. Declines 4 times to say sorry. Demand for second-hand electric cars hits new high. Metro, we've 105 million. Yeah, wonder how long they'll last. Corbyn, Chief Rabbi wrong. Won't say sorry over anti-Semitism row as rally sparks new controversy. The Guardian. It's in every paper, isn't it? So that shows you that's what one is to think that Corbyn's a Semite, but they're all useless anyway. Corbyn struggles to rebuff anti-Semitism accusations. Judge bans anti-LGBT protests near school. So you can't protest about the paedophile organisations, so the judge will ban you because they're all in it. No apology as Labour leader rejects rabbi's claims about party. I don't want anyone to be feeling insecure, and our government will protect every community. Malta murder ministers quit amid inquiry into killing. Aye. Couple pick up 105 million on Lotto. Sam Mendes makes the film. Corbyn refused to say so. Every paper this is in. That's how come you know this is an agenda. Labour leader repeatedly calls to apologise to British Jews during TV interview. Defiant stance comes after Chief Rabbi criticised handling of anti-Semitism. Javid refuses to condemn PM's Muslim comments. Right, why should he apologise to the Jews? Any Jews? Well, he's just a puppet. He's there. This is all about making up bullshit that you think is real. None of it's real. First time voters give their views on election. Yes, I'm an idiot because I'm going to put an X, which means I'm an idiot. There you go. Enough said. Grass always greener for dairy herd. I Wee joins picket line in Cambridge. I'm a celebrity. Do you want a birthday video? Social media gold 4 stars. Wow. What a load of shit. Daily fail. In TV skewing, Corbyn refuses 4 times to apologise over anti-Semitism. He's humiliated over 58 billion women's pensions and shamed over tax rises for thousands of low incomes torn apart. Yeah, that's definitely the agenda because it's always in every paper. Or nearly every paper. That's how come you know. Mirror. I won 105 million. Great. NHS for sale bombshell. Tory ministers trade talks with US drug firms boss. Meeting fuels fears Boris and Trump post-Brexit deal with push up medical costs. Of course they will. Waste of paper. 105 million Lotto when nearly killed me. Yes, we're all thinking that. The scum. Brit Euro Millions winner. Steve scoops 105 million jackpot. I will make US a mansion. Makers a mansion. Worth a few bob, the builder. Corb's full refusal on Jews. See, every paper, that's how come you know that's an agenda they're pushing. FT. Corbyn fights racism claims. Man City 500 million stake sale breaks sports valuation record. Well, that's just a waste of crap as well, isn't it? You think you know your no stress. When I grew up, if you missed a TV show, you missed it forever. My wife just opened the car door for me. It would have been a nice gesture had we not been doing 60 miles an hour. They call them heated seats because rear defroster was already taken. Her. What do you do? Me. I race cars. Her. Do you win many races? Me. No, the cars are much faster. It's okay to be a little effed up in the head. We all are. It's only when you're effed up in the heart what makes you a piece of shit. I was grocery shopping yesterday when I saw this beautiful young woman. I said to her, I can't seem to find my wife. Can I talk to you? Sure, but how will that help? Once she sees me talking to you, I'll bet you anything she'll appear out of nowhere. Pass me the radiation anti-gravity foil, please, said NASA. When I was younger, my parents sent me to a child psychologist. That kid didn't help at all. Neil Armstrong can't remember landing or walking on the moon and insists that on 20th of July 1969 he was at a Pizza Express in Woking. I always knock on the fridge before I open it, just in case there's a salad dressing.